Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with Stash Dive Tuesday, and I am combining it with a monthly video that I create called Courageously Crafting, Scrapbooking Through the Hard Stuff. And I am working on Stash Dive using up my poinsettias. I have a lot of them and I rarely use them in my layouts. It's not necessarily my favorite. So I have quite a few random ones. Some of them are like dollar store. Those ones on the acetate are from Vicki Boutin, Evergreen and Holly. And so are these papers. And then I have like some 6x8 papers from that collection, as well as a 12x12. And then I have this Christmas paper crafts. I'm pretty sure I got them at Hobby Lobby. Yes, I did. And that is the poinsettias that are like the dimensionals. Then I have this quote that I pulled off of Facebook, or no, YouTube. I was looking for, not YouTube, you all, good gravy, Google. So this is a picture. It's my dad, my mom, my daughter, and my dad's best friend on the end and his wife, who are good friends of my parents. And they are standing in front of a poinsettia tree. This is 2017. And so I thought this was an opportune time to use all the poinsettias that I could find in my collection. And so I pulled all of those out. I've got some papers and some ephemera and stickers, my quote, my picture. And so I'm gonna try and get this layout done, and let's see how this goes. So you all might want to know why this is a hard picture for me to document. And maybe if you have been watching most of my videos, I try not to go on about it, obviously, but I lost my father in April of 2018, super suddenly, absolutely unexpected. He was not ill or anything, actually, he'd been in the best health he'd been in a long time. And so this is Christmas 2017, the last Christmas he was here. And of course, we didn't know that at the time. Of course, you never know that. So, that I had this picture and I was going to print it in a 4x6, but changed my mind, decided because that tree behind there is so cool and it's such a neat picture. And of course, my daughter was a last minute addition to their adventure, henceforth why she's wearing like a hoodie and everyone else is dressed up. And when I say everyone else is dressed up, my dad's wearing his non-holy sweatpants. That is dressed up to Rick Sargent. So, he was not one. I mean, he did wear a lovely outfit to my wedding and my sister's wedding, but that is not his thing. He put on his nice sweatpants when the time came. Bless him. So anyway, so this picture is just really cool, and it means a lot to my daughter, of course, because she had that experience with him that she wouldn't have had. I don't know why I didn't cut this part out, guys. Sorry. So I'm cutting the little holly berries off and putting those over to the side. I am going to use some of those for filler. That I wanted to get these poinsettias down first. My original thought was to go from bottom left to top right corner, but because I don't want to completely cover one of them because it seems silly, I went ahead and moved them up just a little so that only part of that third one up would get covered. And I am also not going to make you watch me rub these on, because that's what they are. They're rub-ons. Although they're almost more like stickers. They're a little bit more meaty than a normal rub-on that's flat. They have a little oomph to them when they're on there. So look at that miraculous thing. I just got those done like in the snap of a finger. So now I am going to adhere this down. This is the 5x7. And it is going to cover part of that third poinsettia and one of those little holly. It's fine. You know, while the carpal tunnel in my right hand said, thanks a lot for making me do that, and it's covered up, the rest of me is fine. So my layout is matted on, the poinsettia paper is 11.5 by 11.5. Yeah. And the white paper is 11.25, or right, maybe it's just 11 inches. I think it's 11 inches actually, because I wanted to have enough space because I was putting this big 5x7, and I wanted to double mat my 5x7 because it is matted on white paper and then matted on that poinsettia paper. So I considered matting it again on black so it would completely look like the background, but I changed my mind. So here is the quote that I printed. I want to keep the poinsettia part, but it is so big and I don't like it because it's going to cover one poinsettia completely or kind of come down and cover like my dad a little, and I didn't want that. So thank goodness I have my own printer at home, and I put it in Project Life app and printed it as a 3x4. And that is much better. I mat it on the same paper I was going to mat the other one, and I'm going to put it up there in that top corner. And I end up using a couple of those poinsettias that are left, and I'm going to have those coming out the bottom and the right of this little the picture of this quote. And the quote says, "You know you've grown up when none of the things you want for Christmas can be bought at a store." And there was no name or anything specifically on there. I just printed it. I saved it from a Google search. I was looking for poinsettias to see if there was anything specifically about poinsettias, and pretty much all I could find that was specifically about a poinsettia was like the meaning of it and how it relates to the Christian faith, and that's all well and good, and that's fine, and that's lovely, but that's not what I'm looking for here, and that didn't fit with the whole point of this. It was more, I wanted something along the lines of either about the last Christmas or appreciating the time when you have it, or, something about that kind of thing. So, of course, if I had been documenting this at the time, and I try really hard when I'm scrapbooking to think that way. If I was documenting then, how would I change what I do with a layout? Because now knowing that I've lost him, obviously that changes things. But, had I printed this picture on, January the 1st of 2018 and was documenting it, would I have put a quote on here about appreciating what I've got? No. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I've always been, even as a kid, pretty darn appreciative of my family. I've always known I was very blessed and very lucky. And the more people I get to know and hear stories about, how their families are, I'm even more grateful because my family is really, really close. We spend a lot of time together. I literally just came from my sister's house where we spent the last 4 hours together having dinner for my son, and we're going to go to the beach together, So, anywho, we're very close and we're very lucky for that. And I luckily have been aware of that. Not that I haven't taken advantage or, not respected that relationship in the past, but for the majority of my life, I have appreciated that. So I used my Heidi Swap stamp to put the date on here, and it didn't go on perfectly. So when that happens, I usually will just do a few stamps that are intentionally a little off, as well as one that is a good solid stamp. So I like the look of that, and sometimes I do it on purpose. But so after I got everything done, I take the Rustic Wilderness Distress Oxide ink pad, and I use my little watercolor little thing and get a little ink on it, and then just tap it a little bit so that it'll give me that little small splatters in between. And that is it. So I'm going to show you the close-ups, and I'm just going to take this opportunity to remind you or to encourage you or to whatever it is to document the hard stuff, to pull the pictures out of a family member that you've lost, or of a hard time, or, whatever it might be. If you've been putting it off, I just want to encourage you to think about pulling those out and documenting them, because it's so important to document your whole story. So that's all. And also to encourage you to get out your stash and use it. There's a list below of the people following along with Stash Dive Tuesday. I hope you will go check them out. Have a great day and happy scrapping.